You've seen the headlines. Companies are leaving the cloud. Big savings, better performance. Some even declare it's return of the data center glory days. But the thing really is, for every loud repatriation victory lap, there is a quiet truth buried in the balance sheet. And that is not about the tech, it's more about money, history, and a little something we all seem to forget since 1990s and 2000s. So let's talk about who's really leaving, where they are actually going, and what's it costing them, and why the cloud pitch you bought back in 2005-2010 might have been the most expensive loan you ever took. The poster children for cloud repatriation, the 37 signals, Dropbox, and you probably heard the Prime video story, but that wasn't actually a cloud exit at all. More on that later though, towards the second half of this video. And for every one of those big names, there are dozens of companies who either tried and stalled, or quietly crawled back to AWS, Azure, GCP like nothing happened. Let's rewind back to 2009. The financial crisis just gutted budgets. Boards treated CAPEX like it was something fairly toxic. And big tech pounced. IBM, Microsoft, HP, they all ran the same playbook. Turned CAPEX into OPEX. Because, quarterly earnings. These are their own words, straight from their marketing departments. IBM bragged about the significant shift from CAPEX to OPEX. Microsoft case studies beamed about reducing capital expenditures. HP told you to optimize spend across CAPEX and OPEX. Translation? Stop buying, start renting. And just like renting a flat, it's not cheaper. You're paying someone else's margin forever. Cloud is basically a mortgage with no end date. Think about it. You never build equity, you just keep paying the landlord. And when the cheaper line stopped holding up, the story evolved. 2008 to 2012. Cheaper, kill your CAPEX. CFOs loved it. 2013 to 2016, better TCO eventually. And 2017 to 2022, agility and innovation. You're not just renting servers, you're buying transformation. Like TED Talk included. From 2023 onwards, of course, AI, resilience, sustainability, all because of AI. And to be honest, buying a load of GPUs is probably not what you want to do anyway. The train never stops. Only the ticket price changes. So who really left? Not necessarily cloud, but divorced from the big tech. We all know 37 signals, Basecamp and Hey, dumped AWS for deft colo in Ashburn and Chicago. 8 racks per site, Dell R7625, 10 kilowatts per cabinet, saved 10 million over 5 years. Latency down from 67 milliseconds to 90. Dropbox, the Magic Pocket project, moved 90% of storage off S3 and used US colocations. Saved 74.6 million over 2 years. Gecko, many workloads back on-prem using OpenStack and Kubernetes. Ahrefs never went cloud, always in colocation. Claim they saved 400 million over 3 years versus AWS at their scale. And then Zynga left AWS, built private cloud, and then went back to AWS, the boomerang case. And about that Prime video, no, they didn't leave AWS. They moved from chatty, serverless microservice mess to a monolith, still on AWS. That 90% cost reduction? Architecture change, not repatriation. When you leave the cloud, you have basically 2 landing options. 1, build your own data center, which is rare, expensive, and slow. Second option, colocation. You own the gear, they own the building, the power, the cooling, everything, all that infrastructure. 37 signals went colo. Dropbox went to colocation. And here's why sometimes you can't build even if you want to. Remember London, 2010 to 2015. The city's financial district wanted more data center space. The blocker? Not money, not planning permission. No juice, literally. Not enough high voltage power supply in the local grid to power all the tin. So any expansion had to go to Slough, Docklands, Dublin, or the cloud. And that's still true in 2025, by the way. In the UK, some of the grid connection queues now stretch into 2030s. So cloud versus colocation versus on-prem. Here's the actual TCO checklist. Power, cooling, so kilowatt price per hour. Price unit efficiency multiplier. Hyperscalers ran at 1.1 PUE. Colos more around 1.5. Hardware capital expenditures. The purchase, spares, support, refresh every 3 to 5 years. Connectivity, IP transit, cross-connection, private links. Resilient systems, UPS, generators, fire suppression. People and operations, 24/7 monitoring, patching, capacity planning. Migration costs, data egress, dual running downtime risk. This is the stuff you never see in the LinkedIn humble brags. Repatriation works when you've got steady, predictable workloads. You're big enough to buy gear efficiently, and you've got the operational chops to run it well. If that's not for you, fixing your cloud architecture will likely save you more than a forklift exit. Cloud repatriation isn't a revolution. It's a correction. The 2009 pitch was never really about tech. It was a financial product in a shiny wrapper. For some, the math now says buy the house back. For others, the mortgage is still the only option. Just remember, whether it's in a hyperscaler facility or your own rack in your colocation center somewhere, it's always someone collecting rent. The only real question is, do you want to be the landlord or the tenant?